Good afternoon, Maria back with another video. It's 12:55 p.m. It is Friday afternoon. It is May 22nd. Time is flying by. I'm twiddling my thumbs, biding my time and just existing, basically. So anyway, I came in here and I wanted to make this video about silent wars that people, start and why they do it. Obviously, there's in my situation, I've dealt with this over and over and over again in different scenarios. Back in school, my jobs, everywhere, because of the family that I was raised in. Okay, they've always created tension around me, and I didn't understand why all this tension was going on around me. I didn't get it until just recently, since I've been making these videos, and I started putting things together, which everyone knows that. But I grew up in a family where I would say that there was a lot of ignorance in my family. Ignorance in like how you raise children, ignorance in how you deal with things on the outside world. Like I had a mother who stayed in the house many years, didn't have an active life, knew very little about negotiating in the outside world because, my dad took care of those things, okay? And so, I was raised as the last child in the family after my mother was already burnt out on the whole idea of having kids, and so I became the scapegoat of the family, which I've talked about this in many of my videos. So as a scapegoat, generally you're kind of resented anyway, okay? And then, I know I dealt with the being made fun of and stuff, and then realizing what was going on at school, who was causing it, where it was coming from, these consistent patterns that have been going on throughout the years. And, which leads me to where I am now, unemployed and dealing with drama that came into my environment that I didn't ask for. It's like, you have these people that you grew up with, your family, your blood relations, okay? And some people, they like to play this, let me tell you what to do, let me, be bossy to you, or maybe you feel as though you're in charge, whatever, in a family structure. But the law says when you're 18 years old, you're out the door, okay? Now they've affected my ability to get a job over what I consider to be jealousy. And I don't like talking about people being jealous of me because I'm really not comfortable with it. Because when people get jealous of you, they do horrible things to you. They do absolutely horrible things to you. And in this situation, them picking on me, I think particularly the way that I dress at work, or I'm disturbed by it because, number one, these are my hobbies. These are the things that I care about, and it's a part of my life. This is my lifestyle, okay? I do believe that we should eat properly, okay? I struggled with that many years in my life growing up in a family like that. And I didn't agree with that lifestyle, okay? I don't believe that we should just eat whatever we fucking comes to our mind or whatever. I think people should use discretion. And when I was younger, for many years, I struggled with my weight back and forth. Since I was in 5th grade, my mother went to the hospital, and there wasn't any real supervision while I got home, so I would just eat candy bar after candy bar. And then it was something that escalated. And I remember growing up seeing my sister Lisa struggle as well as my mother struggle. It wasn't any put down to her. It was just something that I realized that this wasn't something I wanted. Okay, but I know that throughout my course of my life, I've struggled with my weight back and forth, and I never liked it. Never liked it. I never believed that, because what I saw of my mother's struggles and everything else, I personally believed, okay, and I do believe. Most people would know that being overweight is not something that people want to be. They don't want to be that way. Most people know this. It's common. knowledge. There is a lot of people who struggle with their weight. There are, and they know that they're struggling with their weight, and they try to deal with it the best way they possibly can. Okay, but some people normalize it. Some people normalize, or think that it's a part of life, or that they accept it as normal, and some people don't, and I don't. Okay, I don't accept it as normal. I'm not saying that people. I'm just saying it's not normal for me, at least, and it's something that I do. You're bringing this into the workplace. Okay, you're bringing this issue into the workplace. My appearance. Okay, how I appear. Now, I understand, there's a difference between, and I talked about this before, what's provocative, what's professional, what's whatever. I feel as though my family has nitpicked me apart, and they are bullied me, because they are, and I know my sister Lisa dealt with her weight issue. I know that she went through gastric bypass surgery, and then she ended up going right back to having her weight issues and stuff. And I do believe that this is a form of her bullying and trying to express some sort of dissatisfaction with herself. And then also, I think that Jeff, her husband, he's a normal guy. And when I mean normal is, he wears a pair of jeans. He wears a pair of shorts. He wears a t-shirt. He doesn't think clothes are important. Maybe that's not his thing. Some people look at clothes as a great way. I mean, I love clothes. I do. I love them. Okay. And so he might be trying to find inconsistencies into what I'm saying, because when I say that I'm fine being by myself, I like being single. This is what is fine for me. I don't date anyone. I pretty much just exist on whatever. And so he may believe, well, if you really say that, then why do you, wear a shirt that matches your pants, or why do you coordinate your shoes, or what? This has nothing to do with anything. One has nothing to do with the other. When I was younger, I used to look at TV, and I would look at the things that, and I knew that this was a part of my personality. This is my part of my personality. I like clothes. I like accessorizing. I've always wanted to sew. I've always wanted to be an old-fashioned woman, meaning like I wanted to learn how to embroider. I mean, which I've learned how, but it's pretty weak. But still, that was one of those things I wanted to do. I wanted to knit. I wanted to crochet. I wanted to do those sort of things. These are the things that I've chosen in my life to incorporate into my life. Okay, and it doesn't warrant permission. It doesn't warrant the approval of my family. Okay, now it might have warranted approval when I was a minor. Okay, but as an adult, I have every right to, go out for bike rides. What do you call it? Go out for bike rides. Wear a vest, don't wear a vest. A pair of shorts or a pair of jeans, or a skirt or whatever. I have the right to wear what I want. And so when you bring these things into the workplace, one of the reasons why this is illegal is because this is what they call a sexual harassment issue. Okay, you're basically trying to say, well, you're doing this, and you're doing it because you're trying to get male attention. No, I'm not trying to get male attention. Okay, so like if you're talking about toning things down, I will tell you, if I go to a workplace and there is no like where I was out there in Buttonwillow. Okay, I was out in Buttonwillow. I like clothes anyway. I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to brighten my day. I'm going to lighten my mood. I'm going to feel happy, bubbly, because I know I fucking hate that job, right? So the least I can do is make my day in least wearing what I want to wear. That's the least I can do for myself, okay? And so that's what I do. Okay. Now, if we were in a streamlined office environment, then I understand, you're not going to sit here and wear earrings. You're not going to do all this. You're not doing that. Okay, you're not going to paint your nails a certain color. You're going to go to work. You're going to wear, the standard either clear nail polish or whatever. I know all kinds of women know, like I mentioned before, who do all kinds of things with their nails, right? Their nails some of them are pretty long, jagged, whatever. And I see women working all the time. Once again, I will mention the fact that I'm being singled out here, and that's wrong. Okay, you're depriving me of the rights of being a woman. And women have options, okay? Some women wear pantyhose, some women don't. Some women wear skirts, some don't. Some are more tomboys, some are more glamorous, some are more whatever, or in between. You know what I mean? And it's the right of a woman to be that way, Okay, and so it has nothing to do with, some people just like, I don't like the word fashion, but some people love clothes. That's who I am, and I don't intend to change my life anytime soon. When I get older, I've seen all kinds of things that older women get to do, and this is what I choose to do in my life. This is who I am. It's a part of me. Is it something that I want to bring into a career? I'm going to say no, because number one, what I do is more personal for myself. I'm not going to sitting here trying to create things for other people or anything like that. It's just, this is a hobby. There was a article in a sewing magazine a while, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And this lady, she was a regular, a real CPA or whatever. And she said that her love of numbers, okay. And I related to this article because it's like, it showed this woman who had a job, and then she also had her hobby. And her hobby just so happened to be sewing, such as mine, right? Same as mine. And she loved it because she loved numbers so much that she enjoyed working with sewing because she got to do the figures, and when she created her patterns, she got to exercise math, logic, and stuff like that. So this was her little passion outside of the workplace, right? And say that's the same thing with me. And so, by, saying, I really do feel as though this issue is like a form of childhood bullying that escalated and went out through the community, and now it's affected me being able to get a job. You're trying to bully me and hollow me out as a person. And I understand, see, it's a simplistic idea, or like a very foolish or childish or illogical. It's an illogical thought process to think that, if you make Maria like everyone else, then she's going to assimilate. Okay, you forget I'm a black woman in a predominantly white area. Okay, I'm not, and I understand, you're going to meet people that you like if this situation wasn't involved. Like this, we weren't talking about creating this silent war against me. If this silent war was not raged against me, okay, like you guys never bothered me or whatever, then I would be making the proper people, meeting the proper people. Some would be your friends and some wouldn't. Some are going to be a backstabber, some aren't, you know what I mean? But my life, my social activities would be normal, okay? But you're basically trying to change me, and then you want me to work a job. I wouldn't feel happy working a job, being in an environment that's hostile. Okay, because this is okay for her, you can't do this. We're going to watch what you eat. We're going to do this, we're going to do that. I have the right to eat what I want. I have the right to eat what I want. Now, growing up, I ate Doritos and stuff like that. And you know what? And I think, when you're talking about siblings and stuff, they feel jealous. Oftentimes they do. They feel jealous. And I've dealt with people coming into my office offering me food and stuff like that. And I understand sometimes, you want that. You go ahead and you have a donut or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? But I know in the past that there has been some sort of desire to try to, change me as a person so that it can make you guys feel better about yourself. And it's not my personal life, my personal ambitions, my personal life goals, and my beliefs. This is what I believe, okay? This is the way I live my life. This is my lifestyle, okay? It is no way, in any way, shape, or form, trying to flip you the bird, or it had nothing to do with you. I didn't even have you in mind when I started living my life and doing these things for myself. It's got nothing to do with you, you see? And so, then you made this hype on Facebook and drew attention to my Facebook account. This is probably what happened in 2008, because I'm going to tell you what, if a person opens up a Facebook account, okay, and they're basically a nobody, such as myself. I was a nobody before the whole 2008 thing, okay? I was a nobody. I was somebody who, my Facebook account would have been just an open account just like anybody else's, but then some ruckus got started on Facebook, which drew attention, and then all this drama started happening. You know what I mean? And then my life slowly but surely started taking a nosedive. I mean, it was already shitty. I've already dealt with the workplace mobbing, the bickering, okay? It never escalated to mobbing, okay? But this is the year, okay? This is the year when I was dealing with Karen and all this other bullshit, and Lisa, the lady at the office, and all this stuff. And all of this was created over bullshit. Bullshit. You know, the issue of, you know, I know that people tend to get, when they envy something of another person, or they're jealous or whatever, they don't understand that you have no right to try to take or seize that from a person. This is the most, like, you know, Neanderthal type behavior or thinking process that I can even understand. Like, you're trying to bully me is what it is. And so you might, and all the attention that I've got on Facebook, like I said, was created by you guys. Because there's no way in the world I'm going to open an account, someone as insignificant as me, in the grand scheme of things, okay, is going to open a Facebook account, and then all these people are just going to immediately start being drawn to it. I doubt that. I seriously doubt that. There was hype that was created. There was people, my accounts from like YouTube, people that I knew that was communicating with online. These relationships got thrashed, you know, all because of some sort of competition. It was wrong. Okay, I don't want to compete with anybody. I just want to live my life. And this is the only life that I choose to live. I don't care about, you know, technology, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about, you know, living like the majority of people. My life is to live separate. I do have separate beliefs. I do have separate ideas, and I have the right to do that. In this country, we have the freedom of religion, to choose a religion, or no religion at all. That's my right as an American citizen. And it is also my birthright given to me by God. Now, I could choose to follow God, or I could choose not to. Okay? He will deal with me accordingly on that day of judgment. Now, based on different religions, that's a day that could either happen right at death, a few months after death, the what do you call it, the Armageddon day, or whatever that day is, when we are standing in judgment of God. With that day that's determined what happens to our soul, or whatever, according to what the Bible says, then that's what he will do with me accordingly. Okay? It's not your right to tell me how to live my life. So what you've created is a silent war. You've created a severely, a severe case of sexual harassment. You know, when a woman does something, and you constantly say, you're doing this, or I'm making fun of you, blah, 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 and you grab other people and you involve them in it, it becomes bullying. And that's exactly what it is. It's bullying. You know, I know how to dress professionally at my job. You know, I know how to conduct myself professionally at my job. And there's always this need to like try to upstage me or try to whatever. Me being like you is not going to bring me closer. Our relationship is dead. Meaning I don't have any feelings, warm feelings towards you. And I keep thinking about, there were times when you guys worked on my car, and I appreciated that. All those years I appreciated that. I did. I appreciated it. I did. Okay, you got to understand, I did appreciate it. But now I understand maybe you were doing that because you wanted to add fuel to the fire of resentment towards me. I'm sorry if I ever asked you for anything. You know, I thought you were my family. You know what I mean? I asked you to fix my car or whatever, and but I didn't realize that you were behind my work, that you had this grudge against me, that you were, completely against my way of living. But I have the right to live my life how I want. You know what I mean? And then you brought this whole issue about the religion. We weren't raised religious. We were not raised religious. So no, we don't exist in a unified thought. Meaning, you guys believe one thing. You guys have your brand of Christian beliefs, and you have the right to do that. I have the right not to be a part of your religion. Okay? It was never enforced in our childhood home, and to sit here and try to throw it up in my life now is kind of a joke. Okay? So I know, women get bullied in the office sometimes, okay? And I think most of the time when these bullying issues occur, oftentimes it's because you do have a domestic stalker. Like you may have a family member who has arranged the job, and so they want to talk to the manager, and the manager, they start conversing. hey, what is she wearing today? Well, give her shit about it. Or maybe have some people walk by her desk a bunch of times. It's going to escalate into a harassment issue. Okay, I have every right to have apples for my snack or whatever if I want to. Now, if you've created an issue, if the issues that you created are created by you guys. Okay, because I know I've seen people eating apples, yogurt cups. This lady used to bring strawberries. People eat this as a shit you put in your lunch bag, in order to have a snack. Most people do choose a healthy snack. They might eat fast food on their lunch break, but most people that I've seen do have healthy snacks, what they call healthy snacks, okay? Now, I will say that when my way of eating is I eat because, number one, I grew up with an overweight mother, okay? I grew up, for certain parts of my times of my life, I grew up overweight, and I hated it every fucking day. I hated it because I knew that this was not for me. I didn't like anything about it at all. At all. And every day I always thought, this is not what I like. I hate myself when I'm like this. I don't like it. I'm not comfortable. I'm depressed all the time. I do not like it. Okay, it had nothing to do with me thinking, well, maybe, if I dropped a good 50 pounds, I could hook up with Stephen Lyles. That never occurred to me. It never occurred to me. Before 2008, after, during that time, I didn't give him any thought. And then I was told about Facebook, by Teresa. She told me about Facebook, and then she said, get on there. And she even mentioned that he was on there. So I said, what? Okay, why not? And I did. Okay, and then after I wrote to him, I hadn't heard from him. I never heard from him, ever. So I just said, out of sight, out of mind, and I was moving on with my life. Hadn't thought about him in years. And then I had a dream back in 2016, and then he came and I wonder, does he have something to do with this? Okay, now I don't know if there's rumors being created or whatever, because, people like to create rumors and dramas about people who take care of themselves, okay? And deep down inside, most people inherently know that you're supposed to keep your grooming up. They do, okay? There's a lot of women who are bogged down raising children, and they have, maybe in the past that they used to do certain things for themselves, and now they have all these kids and all this a hectic schedule, and they're always saying, I just need to make time. And at the beginning of the year, oftentimes people will go to the gym, they'll start doing things for themselves, and then they lose track of themselves, and they go back to falling into their habit of whatever, okay? They lose track of their goal. But deep down inside, they're always telling, I'm going to get myself back to doing what I need to do. This is what I want to do. Okay? Most people know that what I'm saying is right. Okay? It has nothing to do with me wanting to have a man in my life or whatever. My love of clothes or whatever, some people just believe, and I'm one of those people who believe, okay, that this is the way you're supposed to live. This, for me, okay? I'm not going to tell other people what they do with their life, but for me, this is how I choose to live. I enjoy embellishing things. I mean, I don't have much money, okay? But, my furniture is not worth anything, really, or whatever. But if I can try to make it colorful, a little bit more pleasant, maybe throw a cover on it, maybe throw a blanket on it, maybe, I don't know, if I could add something to my walls to make it look a little bit more brighter, cheer it up a little, kick it up a notch for my own well-being, then that's what I'm going to do. And the same thing goes with clothes. You know what I mean? If I can throw on a pair of earrings that somebody gave me that I thought highly of, and I can keep them with me that day, and then I could color coordinate my outfit, I'm happy. Those are the things I care about, and but I have seen where people get jealous and it becomes illogical. Okay, like I remember this girl, she was very well endowed. Okay, naturally she was well endowed. She was born that way, and she never wore low-cut outfits. She was very, self-conscious about it. Okay, she was self-conscious about it, and she would walk into a room, and the minute women would look at her, they would instantly hate her. Now that was something that she inherited through her bloodline or whatever. She had no control over that, okay? But there were some women who felt insecure about this woman having boobs, okay? These big, huge boobs. Later, many years later, she ended up getting a boob reduction, okay? Because she really didn't like it, okay? But still, why would somebody hate this particular person instantly? Like they want to throw this title on her like she's a slut, when in fact she's not a slut at all. She just has big boobs, okay? And then you get these rumors that get circulated about them. And the same thing. Everyone knows you're supposed to fucking take care of yourself. I don't give a fuck what anybody's... You can argue it. You can debate it. Everybody knows this. Everyone does. Okay? Everyone does. So, when you do, then you deal with... Sometimes you deal with backlash from your family. Because they might be jealous. You know, they might be jealous. They might be competitive. They're just one of those people who want to destroy things that you fucking you choose to do. Whatever it is. If you want a particular job, they want to sabotage it. If you're going to do this and they want to fuck it up, this is what they like to do. Okay? But when you try to affect my ability to get a job, after this whole drama thing is your fault. This whole thing, the whole Facebook blow up, the whole thing. And yeah, you know, I had every right to write to Stephen Lyles if I wanted to. Okay, he could either respond or he could ignore it. That's his choice, okay? But do I have a right to? Yes, I do. Okay? I had every right to. Okay? You don't tell me how to live my life. We are not of unified thought, meaning we don't agree on certain things. And I'm prepared to, I don't want to be a part of the family. Okay? And it's not just because of this issue, it's because of I remember this happened, and now I understand what caused all this pain, all this hurt, all this trauma throughout the years. Now I understand, and it makes sense. And so I'm like, hell no. Get as far away from me as you possibly can. You know, these are my last years. Okay, I've been bullied since I started working. You know what I mean? Before I started working, okay? But in the workplace, you don't mess with my work. You know what I mean? It's like, you may be ranging these jobs that, you know, that really aren't worth the fuck, but what ends up happening to me is it's ridiculous. Nobody should have to work in a hostile environment. Okay, I have the right to wear what I want to wear to work. I have the right to eat what I want to eat. If I want to go out for a bike ride or walk outside, enjoy some sunlight, I have the right to do that. You know what I mean? No, I'm not a health buff. Like, you know, some people, you know, I have flab on my arms, you know, and I'm not doing anything to change that. You know, if I cared about, and I personally, I do. Do I respect women who have, like, ripped bodies? I respect anybody who has a ripped body. Why? Because I'm going to tell you something. The reason why I eat as I would say fruits and stuff like that and vegetables, I've incorporated this into my life, is because it gives you great mental clarity. It gives you extreme mental clarity. And yes, it is very purifying for the body. Okay? So, and I understand when you are eating well, you are aligned properly. Like you think, you function well, everything falls into place in your mind. Okay? It's more than just whatever, aesthetics or whatever. It's more than that. Okay? So when I see people who, like bodybuilders and stuff like that, I wouldn't go that far. I really wouldn't. I just think that's too much for me. But I respect it. I respect it. I have a great admiration for it. Not enough to imitate it or, you know, mimic it or pick up anything like weights myself. But do I respect it? Yes. You know what I mean? You should take care of your body. Some people take care of their bodies better than others. You know, and I think that, like, you know, there's certain things that, like, you know, like we want in life. Like, you know, I would prefer to have like a little tiny house. Okay, I think that would be nice. Okay, but I also think like people who have swimming pools. Okay, like, you know, right now, like when I first moved into this apartment, I was happy because they had a swimming pool. Now this whole COVID-19 thing happened. And chances are there's not going to be any public swimming, okay? But there's some people in this town who have their own swimming pool. And I could sit here and look over their fence, or I could think about how they're splashing around in their swimming pool, you know, this summer, and I could sit here and seethe and get envious and jealous. You know, and I could sit here and throw rocks at their kids or something, you know, try to make them feel bad for having their swimming pool. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what, and bullying people because they have something that you don't. Okay, and now what you've launched as a form of genocide is what you've done. Because you that's one of the reasons why this is considered sexual harassment. This is the whole issue of gang stalking. Okay, it is damaging to a person, and I'm going to tell you right now, I would rather die than live the life that I used to live. Okay, because the life that I used to live was miserable. I remember, when I would go to work and I was dealing with all this illogical behavior, illogical. Okay, I remember, the reason why it was illogical because it didn't make any sense. Just like this issue doesn't make any sense. And the only thing that makes it sense is if you look at it from a realistic standpoint. And you can only be doing this because you're jealous and you're competitive. For no other reason. Are you saying it's because, a lot of people like you, and is that what you're saying? Because if a lot of people like me, I will tell you why the reason why they like me, because of the hype that you created on Facebook. I'm a no-name. I am a absolute, like I said, I am, when you get down to it, I am nobody in the grand scheme of things. No one. Okay? You send people into my sphere, you create drama on Facebook, and this is what it is. Okay? And whether somebody considered me to be nice looking or attractive, that has nothing to do with anything. Okay? When it comes to your workplace, you're not supposed to be making comments about people's physical appearance. Why? Because it's going to escalate into a harassment issue. Always. Okay? Always. There is a difference between somebody who dresses sexy and somebody who dresses professionally. You know what I mean? There's a difference between, somebody who comes to work as a glamour queen and then somebody who is well-groomed. Okay? And I know the difference. Okay? So when I go to job interviews, I slick my hair back, I wear it in a bun, I do the best I can through my job interview. I don't wear the lipstick, I don't wear the earrings, I do, I'm just all about the job, okay? I'm all about the job, and there's women who go to job interviews, and you know what, they're good. They don't, nobody fucking nitpicks on them, okay? Even if they're showing their cleavage, okay? Which I make sure nothing ever shows like that. So it's like, I feel as though, what you've caused me is harm. I've been out of work for almost 6 months, okay? 6 months, which really, seriously, 6 months is a very long time, okay? And now we've got this coronavirus thing. This is a big game for you. What you like is you like being the center of attention. You like having me as a scapegoat to use me to get friends, to get attention, okay? And I'm not trying to have it. I didn't ask for it. You know what I mean? I'm just somebody who's trying to live out their life. I resent what you've done. I resent the years that you've made me lose. I resent, the income that I've lost. I resent, I don't have, the educational background that a lot of people have, okay? But by you throwing this bullshit out and trying to make light of the subject, okay? It's like that's even more of an abusive situation. Why? Because this is what happened in my school years. This is what happened to me. And every year, every environment that I've ever been in, the bullying was there, okay? You literally drove me into the ground. And so I did the best I possibly could. And I never expected to, work, like jobs like, over at the farmer's place. And I realized that those were arranged jobs, okay? I do now realize that, okay? But I figured, when I first got here, I figured I would do this and then I would work myself up. Just like I knew a bunch of other people did. You know what I mean? And so now you've taken my 23 years and you've thrown them in the trash. Maybe you consider this a form of the divorce settlement. You decided to make up your own rules. Okay, fine. So then I tried to go find myself a job just doing whatever, cashiering or whatever. Okay? I tried to pick myself up. I didn't want to lose, income. I didn't want to lose time. You know what I mean? Which I have a right to. What you guys have done is wrong. Okay, this is your fault. Okay? It's your fault. And you can sit here and say, well, if you weren't different, I have a right to be different. I don't have to ask your permission to be who I am. Okay, and it's only your arrogance that makes you think so. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video. This is a silent war. This is what people launch wars over all the time. You know, this whole thing, like, you know, they make a big issue out of the religious thing, which they pulled that out of their ass. They're doing all these sort of things. Like, what if it's me not, you know, if me being unkempt, going to be more devotion to God? Is that how your warped mind thinks? Or is that the rule that you made up? That makes really no sense. You know, I am never going to change my life for whatever reason. If that means I'm going to end up dead, then I'm prepared to die. Because this is what you've done. You've launched a war. Okay? A bullying war. Okay, this is why this stuff's illegal. But this is just, like, to me, over the top. You know what I mean? Like, where, you know, there was times where I would go to Trader Joe's, which I have every right to go to Trader Joe's. If I like Trader Joe's, like, there are some things that they have are better than that, then I have the right to. I have the right to. I have the right to eat what I want to eat. You know, to me, that's just, you know, I'm sorry if you guys don't like my lifestyle, but I never approved of yours. I never approved of it. Okay. So I just think that's you know, just accept it and just move on. I don't know how long I have on this fucking planet, and it's sad that these people took so much of my life away. You know, but at this point, like I said, you know, when it comes to work, I don't know about work anymore. I really don't. I have no idea. You know, you deprived me of my ability to make plans for myself. You know, that's why, you know, what you did was pure evil. And that's like, it's so fucking evil. Like, I can't forgive you. And I never will. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I will be back with another video some other time later. Take care, you guys.